Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're seeing this. I hope you're having a great day. I sure as hell know I am. And welcome to Madlad Creations. We're going to be going over one of the weirdest yet most efficient decks I have ever created. So much so, it's called my Trippy Token Transmutation deck, which any condition on TCG Player as of October 4th, 2022 comes out to 19 packages, 100 items, 110.33 for the item total. Estimated shipping is $16.83 and a cart subtotal of $127.16. Of course, this does vary and includes basic land, shipping, tax, etc. But this price varies for multiple reasons of having certain cards, being able to trade for them. Now, before I unlock these runes, let me create and add another room because we have a background today. Rune picking expanded. Before getting into the commanders, let's talk about the deck statistics. Being a mono green deck, that is going to be the entire mana distribution requirements with an average of 3.69 CMC. There are 36 lands, 13 artifacts, 12 enchantments, 3 instances, 13 sorceries, 4 planeswalkers, and finally 17 creatures, bringing to 98 cards in the deck and 2 in the command zone, meaning there is a 36 land split, 46 spells, and 18% creatures. Commander today is Halsin, Emerald Archdruid, a 2/4 Elf Druid for 4 mana, which has pay 1 until end of turn target token I control becomes a 4/4 bear in addition to other colors and types, along with choose a background. Our background is Cloakwood Hermit for 2 and a green that reads, Commander creatures I own at the beginning of my end step. If a creature card was put into the graveyard from anywhere this turn, create 2 1/1 green scroll creature tokens. As stated before, there are 36 lands in the deck, 32 of which are forest. The first land up is Gingerbread Cabin, which it enters the battlefield tapped unless I control 3 or more forests. And if it enters untapped, create a food token. Evolving Wild searches out a land and gives us 2 landfall triggers if we have a landfall card onto play beforehand. Crawling Barrens is a tap, add colorless, or it can be a mana sink for 4 mana, putting 2+1/+1 counters on it and making it a creature until end of turn. Our last land is Gargoyle's Castle. Tap, add a colorless, or sacrifice it for 5 mana, create a 3/4 gargoyle with gargoyle token with flying. Next up is the category Rocks on Rocks, where we have our mana rocks. First up is the first drop mana rock, which is Soul Ring, Renegade Map, and Wayfarer's Bauble, which all basically do the same thing, excluding Soul Ring. Renegade Map and Wayfarer's Bauble both search a land, enter the battlefield tapped, and Soul Ring adds 2 for 1. The true drops for this deck is Mind Stone, Moss Diamond, and Prismatic Lens, which are all 2 for 1s. The last rock I'm including in this area is a 3-drop with Heraldic Banner, which is a banner and an anthem for our creatures of our color. Our mana land filters include Search for Tomorrow, Explore, and Rampant Growth for our 1 and 2 drops. Song of Freyalise if we have a decent amount of creatures on board beforehand. Let's also include Harvest Season, which if use our mana right, can give us a bunch of lands from the deck. If we're on mana base, we can get 2 basic lands untapped from the deck with Grow from the Ashes, and a giant land bomb for multiple reasons, being a 4 mana sorcery, Scapeshift. Even though this technically isn't a landfall deck, there are so many token generators and extenders in this color, so it's almost pointless not to include them. Following the order of increasing CMC goes from the 3-drop Shroot Swarm, which makes tokens of itself, making them 4/4s for 1-drop after, I think, 6 lands, or 6 counters, I mean. The 4-drop Garruk Wildspeaker, which gives us 2 mana, or a 3/3 Beast. A 5-drop Zendikar's Royal, which gives us landfall for a 2/2 Elemental. And Seedborn Muse, because it's broken as shit. To round out our 5 CMC is Nissa, who shakes the world, who doubles forest mana. The one-off big generators are Chitter Spitter, which acts as a pseudo anthem, a 1 mana for 1 token generator. The others in this section are a 3-drop known as President of Gond, which is an enchantment which taps to create a 1/1 green elf token, a 4-drop artifact in Tempting Contract, which potentially gives each opponent a treasure for me getting 1 in return. Why not create a fucking bear out of it? Now there are 2 5-drops. The first is Freyalise Llanowar's Fury, which acts as spot removal, card draw, and token creator, which is one of the most powerful things this deck can do. The other 5-drop in the deck for this category is Verdant Embrace, which is an enchantment creature, gets +3/+3, and at the beginning of upkeep, Paradox says, create a 1/1 Saproling. There are no 6-drops in this category, while there are 3 7-drops. In alphabetical order is Avenger of Zendikar, which makes a 0/1 for each land we have. For 1 mana, we basically get +5/+4 on top of the Avenger's landfall +1/+1 counter trigger. The next 7-drop is Hornet Queen, 4 1/1 flying death touch tokens, and if someone isn't prepared, they might as well just die because Halsin text says in addition to, so they become 4/4 flying death touch bears, which can be very scary, especially whenever our boards are completely set up. The final 7-drop is Somberwald Beast Master, which creates a 2/2 wolf, a 3/3 beast, and a 4/4 beast, which is nice and all, but it gives creature tokens I control death touch. The cards that practically give us instant value depending on the situation includes ranked by CMC. The 3 CMCs are Scepter of Celebration, which gives a creature +2/+0 and trample, and creates a number of 1/1 green and white citizen tokens for combat damage dealt by the equipped creature. The Academy Manufacturer is another 3 CMC card, which, if I create a food, clue, or a treasure token, I instead create 1 of each. The 4-drop in this category is Arasta of the Endless Web, which has reach, and when an opponent casts an instant or sorcery, create a 1/2 spider token with reach. Remember, Halsin's transmutation retains keywords. The only 6-drop in this deck or this category is Bootlegger Stash, which lands tap for, well, treasure tokens, which is absolutely absurd. Last in this grouping of cards are the X spells. In alphabetical order is Fractal Harness for an X2 and a green, which has when it ETBs, create a 0/0 fractal creature token, green and blue, with X +1/+1 counters on it and attach it. Whenever it attacks, double the amount of X or the number of counters on it. The second card is Orotri's Hatchery with XX mana cost. When it ETBs with X charge counters along with it. You may pay 5, tap it, and put a number of 1/1 snake green tokens for the number of charge counters. That is by far a huge ass mana sink, so might as well lean into it fully and try and turn those 1/1s into 4/4s. This category is called Power Pumpers. Things that do similar stuff to our commander, give trample, give plus whatever, etc. For instance, our cheapest CMC card is Gaia's Anthem, which has creatures I control get +1/+1. Next up, at 6 mana, is Strength of the Pack, which gives all my creatures 2 +1/+1 counters. The overload cost for scale is 4 green and turns all creatures I control become a green worm with base power and toughness 6/4. The last 6-drop is Aggressive Mammoth, which is a 6/6, has trample, and gives trample to all of our creatures. At 8 mana is Kamal, Heart of Kroza, which gives my creatures +3/+3 and trample at the beginning of combat. Also, this card has an activated ability of 1 and a green. For until end of turn, target land I control becomes a 1/1 elemental creature with vigilance, indestructible, and haste. it's still a land. Excluding X spells, the most expensive singular card in the deck at 9 mana being an instant is Vitalizing Wind, which gives my creatures +7/+7 until end of turn. The X spell we have in this category is Sylvan Offering for X and a green, which has Choose an Opponent. You and that opponent create a XX Tree Folk token. Also has Choose an Opponent. You and that opponent create X 1/1 Elf Warrior tokens. This category I'm calling one-offs, which is 3 or 4 cards of these is what I'd personally recommend switching out. Still following the habit of order by numerical CMC follows Nissa Voice of Zendikar at 3 CMC, Fungal Sprouting, Second Harvest, and Kamal Summons at 4 mana each. Nissa creates a plant, pumps her board, and her ultimate is gain life and draw cards for the number of lands on our battlefield. Fungal Sprouting creates X 1/1 Saproling tokens for the number of our creature's highest power. Kamal Summons lets each player reveal any number of creatures in hand, and they/you create a number of 2/2 bears for each creature revealed this way. The last 5 cards in the deck are in numerical order once again. For some reason, my Magic didn't pull up the first card, Ovaya Pashiri, which has pay 2 and a green, tap it, create a servo, 1/1. Or pay 4 and a green, tap it, create an XX construct where X is the number of creatures I control. At 3 mana is Jaheira, Friend of the Forest, which lets tokens become mana dorks and tap for green. Any tokens, not just creature tokens. There are 2 4-drops. First up is Duran of the Yawning Portal, which has, when he attacks, look at the top 4 cards. I may exile a creature card from among them, and then put the rest on the bottom of the library in any order. For as long as that card remains exiled, I may cast it. That spell has Undaunted, which it costs 1 less for each opponent I have. If I were to add other things in the deck because of hindsight, then I'd like to include stuff like Awakening Zone, Ivy Lane Denizen, Scurry Oak so that I could have the Ivy Lane Scurry Oak back and forth, Kalani Garden, Tireless Provisioner/Tracker, and Full Flowering so that I can increase the amount of tokens I generate. With that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know what you thought of this deck. If you decided to make a variation of it, decide to get it for yourself so that you think it's fun. Either or, let me know what you thought of it. And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.